or now. There we go. I forgot to click the other button.
Oh, so we missed the cheer. Yay!
There we
can
go.
cheer again.
Okay, so here we go. One more time, if you can hear us loud and clear. Let us know in Twitch chat and Facebook live chat. Here we go. Yup, all okay. We'll be doing sound checks periodically throughout the stream. Hopefully I don't mute the microphone again this time. It happens. How's everybody doing out there? This is exciting. This is the big one.
This is it.
This is Space Age.
We blast off.
We're finally here.
Yes.
Wowzers, thanks for following us. Thank all of you here on Twitch TV and on Facebook Live for tuning in and hanging out with us. We're going to be showing off stuff for the very first time, Space Age today. This is pretty awesome. I see, come on guys, hello team, can hear you. Yup, all okay. Can you hear us now? Are we okay? Is our sound fine?
I hope so.
Too loud, too quiet.
Check, 1, 2, microphone. Hearing good. Okay, everything is good now. It's always like you get this like heart-stopping like, oh God, we did audio checks and then audio's not working. So you have to do like the signal flow chart in your head to make sure everything's okay. So anyway, quick announcements before we get started and introduce ourselves. Here's our social media channels. Please go ahead and give us a follow there. We update these every single day with new things Dominations. So we have Twitter, Play Dominations, Facebook Live, and Facebook Play Dominations. We have a new blog where we're updating with new historical blogs and all sorts of fun things on there. So that's nexon.com/blog. And of course our forums where we have all sorts of patch notes and information about the game all the time. But let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Ash. I'm one of the community managers with Nexon.
Hi, I'm Greg. You might know me as the Tin Soldier, forums and other places.
You guys can do it now. Might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Tara, I'm a producer on Dominations.
And we got loads of guests in the back, so
looking
if you want
at
to
my
come
list.
up,
You can come up and
that's
just
cool.
and say hi for a second, and then we'll have you guys do full introductions later. We
fine.
run a very loose ship here, so we're gonna have lots of people talking about the game. So
I could sit here. My name is Kristen. I'm an associate producer on Dominations.
welcome.
And I'm Jazz. I'm back here. Hi.
Hi, Jazz.
I'll be
Welcome
on
back.
in a second.
Welcome back, Jazz.
Welcome back. So, a quick rundown of what I'm clapping into the microphone, which is like a big no-no. Quick rundown of what we're doing today. So, we're going to be showing off the yet-to-be-released patch notes for Space Age. So, we're going to be showing off lots of Space Age stuff.
Yes.
We'll be talking about a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that you haven't really heard anywhere else yet. So, we have a 2-hour stream. We'll be looking at a lot of community contributions as well in the second hour. We're going to be talking with producers, answering some questions, addressing community concerns, and basically just hanging out for 2 hours talking about Dominations and showing off a lot of really fun stuff that I'm excited to show off. So,
Yeah, it'll be really good. I know that there's been a lot of people asking questions in advance and sharing your bases with us and things like that, so it'll be a good chance to look at exactly what's current and what's coming in Dominations.
thanks for the follow, Lithuania86. So yeah, please, if you're not following us on Twitch TV, Nexon Mobile, or on Facebook, please do so. We would love to have you be part of our community. I'll do a very quick social plug one more time for those just tuning in. These channels are really near and dear to my heart. Obviously, we run them, but if you want to have information about some of the upcoming events, we usually announce 24 to 48 hours early. So if you like to get your planning done for your building and stuff a little bit early, we try and have a lot of information out there for the community early. We also do all sorts of really fun polls and stuff like that. We have the community vote between different units, which ones they like, which ones they don't like. And in the future, I can tease something. We're going to be using these polls to kind of fuel some fun stuff that's going on in the 4-year anniversary. So no real solid info on that. I don't even know if I'm really allowed to announce that yet. But polls are going to be a big part of the 4-year anniversary. And you guys are going to have a lot of say in some of the cool stuff that's going on, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. So that one wrapped recently. Did you have a feeling going into this on which one was going to be a winner? Did you think that people are going to say Vikings more or Pirates more? Or I know, Tara, you had a strong feeling on.
It's absolutely Pirates. If it's not Pirates, you're voting incorrectly, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Well, so here are the results. We actually have these.
Yeah.
This poll just finished today. Pirates only got a 26%. Vikings got a 74%.
Staggering defense.
Landslide, yeah.
And these are fun just to get to see what the community says. We had hundreds of different comments about why Vikings were better than Pirates on the social channels. So please keep your eyes on Facebook and the other social channels for fun things like this that we do. And we just like to chat with you guys and see what you love and what you don't love. So all sorts of good stuff. Do you guys want to do some patch notes?
Yeah, let's do some patch
Let's
notes.
do some patch notes. Hold on, let me click my doodads here, and we will get the patch notes open. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna kind of jump back and forth between these notes and some gameplay. So, do you have it loaded up there?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to start with library stuff?
Do you want to start with library stuff? Okay, yeah.
All right, let's do it. We're gonna jump on over there.
We'll pop right to the library.
All
Upgrade
right.
to level 13. This will be the Space Age library. It'll have 4 new techs. They are as follows. Microprocessor. Archaeology. This feels a little like Jeopardy, right?
Yeah.
Anti-aircraft.
Survey says.
And offensive ballistics. So, is there a favorite that you have of these, or was there one that you particularly worked on more or enjoyed as development was happening?
So particularly offensive ballistics has some new stuff in it that we're going to talk about a little bit later. A lot of this language won't make a lot of sense until we talk about another feature that's coming in Space Age, but this is a library tech tree that is going to buff a brand new feature in Space Age that we're going to talk about in a bit. So I'm not going to go into it, but that one's my favorite because I really like that feature. I also think archaeology is really cool. I think that there's a lot of really great museum buffs in here that I think it's a really worthwhile tree to research. But what about you?
I don't really have anything in particular. At least not for
No favorite?
not for the new research.
All favorites then, yeah.
All favorites.
All favorites.
What about you,
They're
Jess?
all my favorite.
Of what, library text?
Yeah.
I guess anti-aircraft, right? Everybody loves their planes.
Mm.
They love destroying me with their planes, so...
Right. And just so you know, this is like mic'd area. Back there, we can probably barely hear you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
Okay.
Jazz was +1 for the anti-aircraft.
Yes, plus one for the anti-air. I got a comment in there that says that I used to be their history teacher. I apologize. I apologize for the history I taught you. No, I'm honored to have taught you history.
You're just teaching history in a different way.
I am.
Through the game.
Geo2690 followed us. Thank you, Geo, for the follow. Very good stuff. Oh, good. We heard that people can hear you back there, so thank you.
Good, awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
So
That's
yeah,
new.
thank you, microphone.
Yeah, the neat thing about archaeology is this is the first one that will buff museum things, right? Usually the museum is now affecting the rest of the game, and this is the first thing that sort of helps that as well, lift that up as well. So, coming full circle. So that's very, very cool.
Anything else in here we want to show off before we move on?
I don't know. Chat, is there anything going on in chat?
I see
You wanna know more
people
about?
were very excited about the second airstrip in chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw people going offensive silo !
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. We'll get into more depth about in a little bit. So show off everything. We are going to show off everything, and it's we recognize your name from Twitter. Obli, how do you pronounce it?
Obi?
Obi.
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 How we pronounce it here. So
Obi.
yeah, if that's-
Obi. Hello from the community team, Obi. Air capacity total. We'll get into the specifics, I promise. So let's go back to the patch notes real quick and see what else is next. So new mercenaries.
Yes.
New mercenaries. Can we show any of these yet? Are we at a place where we can show them?
Very, very soon, because we'll have to upgrade our camp to level, to the next level, right? 12, 13? No, these guys are the new ones, yeah.
Zexlerv, thanks for the follow.
The Mercenary Cavalry Raider, good against resource building. The 2K12 KUB Cub.
Cub.
Like a baby bear.
There's a little
history. Like a baby bear. I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Always a fan of the nerdy historical text.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Surface to air missiles, just like a real baby bear would do as well. This heavy tank destroyer. All right, you'll get an update on that. Vulnerable to anti-tank guns, and the Soldier of Fortune will round out the pack. Destroy enemy buildings, and they're sneaky good at good damage, so they're pretty good to take as well.
I think they modeled his mustache after your mustache.
Perhaps I think I've been was that mustache modeling session? I think there were a couple of just making sure they wax properly.
SCLDEF22 followed us. Ash, take your hat off. Oh, nobody wants to see I didn't wash my hair. I had a hotel shampoo. I was not about to touch it, so I looked like I was electrocuted or something. Nobody wants that. What do they cost in trade goods is the question. So for the new mercenaries, do we have values that we can share yet, or is that to be announced later?
Maybe we can announce that a little later in the stream. I think there's a lot of stuff we want to look at and sort of poke around with first.
Okay,
and then maybe
so we'll
get
we'll get into specifics about trade goods and what those merc costs are.
Yeah.
Perhaps later. Oh, I'm gonna ambush this for a second. Periodically through the stream, we're gonna be doing a couple giveaways. We have these Space Age patches. Now we can only ship these within the continental United States, so I'm sorry for our international viewers on Facebook Live and on Twitch TV, but we're going to be giving away a handful of these patches. So what we'll do is I will tell you how to win these in the near future. I'm not going to tell you now because chat will be flooded, and we don't want that. But these are actual patches. We're giving a handful of these away. These are for the development team and folks that worked on the game. So they're going to be incredibly rare.
Yes.
And you can display them on your flight suits and then take pictures of that and send it to us. So we can social media. But these are awesome. I think this is like one of the only ones that we have right now. So,
yes.
But anyway, we'll be giving those away later. I forgot to announce that. All right. So what else are we going to show off? I'm like going very fast. I'm also highly caffeinated. I apologize to everyone. This is how I operate.
That's
I get
part of the fun.
Way too caffeinated,
right.
And then I talk way too quickly, and everyone's like, "Slow down, man." So let's see. Mercs we showed off.
Yeah.
Can we show off anything with the generals?
With the generals. Bum, bum, bum. Oh no, I gotta update my oil. Updating refineries and things like that. So yeah, so you'll get obviously new art and new updates for all of your resource buildings. So this is the oil refinery. We can go down here to the markets, and they get a nice little uplift there as well. So we can take a look at the art a little better there. So that's the new market. As we push into the 1960s now, everything's got a little bit more of a vibe. This had the sort of the 50s drive-in type vibe, and now we move into a little more of the commercial 60s look for that. These are the new mills that you'll get. So nicely done there. All right, so we were bringing these fort to level 8. Bum, 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 bum. There's the new level fort, which the generals will be at. No new generals yet to announce. So they'll all be the same. We'll show some of those guys later off as well.
Just out of curiosity, who's everybody's favorite general?
Yeah, that's a great question for chat. So in chat, let us know who your favorite general is. We kind of had some social posts in the past weeks. We've been highlighting generals throughout history. So we did a highlight on Napoleon recently on the social channels, and another highlight on Joan of Arc. Who is your favorite right now? Let us know. I want to know. I'm curious.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're all really cool. I mean, for me, historically, I think Joan of Arc's story is wild. I love it. I used to love teaching about Joan of Arc. Napoleon's story is equally wild. I remember I taught Napoleon's story once, and the ending of his story is so dynamic. I'm just shocked there hasn't been like a film, at least in the States, about Napoleon's rise and fall, because it's such a crazy story. You would never, it's very Hollywood. So I see lots of Joan. Hannibal, I see a Hannibal.
A new favorite, yeah, exactly.
He's on an elephant.
Yeah, Hannibal. I love his mechanics.
Yeah.
I don't have him in my personal game right now because he's kind of challenging to get your hands on, but I definitely love Hannibal. He's great. I see a MacArthur,
Yeah.
Alexander. Someone says I love that Nobunaga's in a tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That was a fun historical moment to say, okay, if they had access to this, then maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they should have tanks that are at least of their country of origin as well. So there's accuracy that way.
Someone says Tomoe Gozen. Can we show her real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tomoe Gozen should be in our stronghold, right?
Yeah, I think we added one of her.
Recently we added her.
We may have on your. Oh, there we did.
Here we go. There we go.
We did add her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's new.
She's new. And with some of the new generals we've been introducing, they start to have their own unique play styles. So when you deploy her, she initially deploys on a horse, and then when the horse is defeated, she then starts to fight on foot. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That is a fun new mechanic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We've been experimenting a lot lately with different mechanics on our generals. Like we had a bunch for our World War I Centennial that had a lot of AoE attack buffs and other cool stuff that they're doing, and then also favorite from a long time ago in oh no, his name is blanking me. Turtle Boat, Admiral Yi.
Yes.
Admiral Yi was also super cool, and so we wanted to give Gozen something really neat, and that was like a pretty obvious mechanic of jump off your horse and start fighting again. So it's
Right.
giving us a lot of leeway to experiment with new tech for new troops and stuff. It's been really fun.
Yeah, I love that. The turtle ship bombardment were super cool. It was very, very cool. All right, they're like, back to the space station. Sorry, we got sidetracked.
Well, that's the fun part, is we get all of human history to play with, right?
That is
So
true.
you can jump from Joan of
true.
Arc to Tomoe Gozen to the 1960s of whatever we're going to introduce next. We're talking about the second airstrip. Is that correct?
Yes, so let's jump back here. We have
Ooh,
Wonders first. You want to do
Wonders
that?
first,
Do you want to do
yeah.
Wonders?
Yeah, let's do Wonders.
We're going to do Wonders. Eric Matthews, thank you for the follow. We very much appreciate it.
All right. So one of the wonders I was most excited about is the Space Shuttle. There's a piece of art across the hallway. When the game first launched, we had the Coliseum, and then there was another piece, and then there was the Space Shuttle at the bottom. And I think they created that asset, or the first pass of that asset, fairly early on. So it's exciting to finally say, like, yes, I'm going to choose this. Choose the Space Shuttle. Yes. But actually, before that, we should probably poke around and look at the rest of them first, right? You've got the Lotus Temple, which grants a bonus to resource generation once per day. These effects are stronger than under a peace treaty. You have the World Sphere Unisphere, which generates rubies once per day. Deploy your highest level defense coalition army when destroyed on defense. The Very Large Array reduces rally cooldown and allows you to collect a research or building speed up once per week. And the Space Shuttle, collect satellite scan tactic once per day that disables enemy traps. So we're going to start with this Space Shuttle. Yes, only one on
let's look at
the
the
build
Space
per
Shuttle.
age. There we go. And we can get them working on that.
I think one of the pieces I'm really excited about for all of these different wonders is that they kind of appeal to totally different playstyles, and there's not just like, this is the one for people who want something good in combat, this is the one for people who want resource production. Like, there are multiple of each one. So, like, if you are more focused on, some kind of, stuff on your base and you just want to build a lot, you have the Lotus Temple, and then you can do the Very Large Array for stuff like that. But then if you want combat, you've got the Unisphere, which is great on defense. The Space Shuttle is one of a really cool, like, brand new tactic that I'm sure Greg is going to show here in a second. It's really exciting.
Yeah, we'll go into that when we go into battle, but just to have it on your base, I think is really cool and really iconic of the era that we're sort of starting to look at and starting to build towards. So let's get that.
It's very cool. I remember I actually got to see the last one of these go up, which was really, really special and really cool. So, because I live in that part of the country, So
it's got Dominations written right there.
There
on
you
the
go.
side.
It's also got the big huge games logo on the wing.
Yeah, right
I
there.
love it.
Nice,
So
nice.
I really quickly, what went into the decision making process when you guys were picking the new wonders for Space Age? Pardon me. What made you pick the ones that you picked?
This was actually a really great process. Like, this time around, we did a lot of, we had an open forum with the entire company. Everyone was welcome to come in and pitch different ideas. And we had 2 separate sessions of, here's the actual structures that we think would be cool and, unique from an art perspective. Like, what would look really interesting and striking on your base. And then we had an entirely separate conversation about what are the cool mechanics that we think would be interesting enough to facilitate wonders. And then when we put those 2 in a vacuum, our design team went around and picked, okay, what are the best ones, and let's match them with something as best as we can thematically. So it was really like a big group process that I really appreciated. Like, we involved everybody from every discipline. They didn't even have to be working on our project right now. It was just an open brainstorming session. So a lot of it was born out of, people throwing every idea they could at the wall and seeing what stuck.
Very cool. I like the choices that were made. They are, like you said, and like you said, I think their functionality does appeal to very different play styles. So there's going to be something for everyone, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the one that he's going to right now, the Unisphere, is pretty cool in the sense that it gives you rubies, which is that really sought-after alliance currency. If maybe you're a little dry on wars or needing some troops, you can get that little boost of ruby capacity. But on top of that, on defense, when the Unisphere is destroyed, it will spawn your highest defensive coalition as a defender on your base. And for people who are investing a lot of resources into that for their wars, it's a really powerful tool. You can get a huge, just boost of defenders. Also, if any of your defenders' highest levels are tied, it will pick one at random. So, you can get one, if you have 2 that are max level, then it will switch between either. Or if you have a specific one that you think is the best, you could max that one and leave your rest low so that you get guaranteed spawns from the Unisphere. It's a really interesting defending decision as well as where you're going to put it in the base. And since it looks so nice, I think most of the time we tend to like put the like Versailles non-wall wonders way off on the side of your base because it's not doing anything. This one's positioning matters, so I think it gives like a nice bright splash of color with the fountains that are animated right in the middle of your base.
Yeah.
I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, visually they are really striking. They're very different. They really stand out from the rest, and they're just super cool. I like them quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, general question. It says, do you ever consider ideas from gamers for these things when coming up with ideas? And this is a question I know we've answered before on the streams, but I think there's a good answer. It's like we're really are always paying attention to everything. Right. Don't you guys have like a bucket where you throw like great ideas into, essentially?
Yes, we certainly do. There's the places on the forums. There's an ideas and feature request section of the forums. You can, of course, leave any comment you want on any of the Twitter or Facebook stuff that we do. And yeah, we basically collect all that stuff and then distill it down and try it out. A lot of things that start as player seeds go through rounds of iteration and playtest before they make it into the game. So a lot of the little touches, some of the quality of life stuff that we can talk about here in a little bit, were player ideas of like, hey, I wish it was easier if we could do XYZ thing, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So
right,
just general improvements to try to make the game either easier or better or flow smoother and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of community concerns and suggestions are addressed in some capacity. So definitely, like, never hesitate to submit things on the social channels because people do get eyes on them. And, you know, there's a high likelihood that something you're suggesting other people have suggested before. And that's a good thing. I mean, if a lot of people are saying the same things, it can be more impactful. So definitely do not hesitate to say stuff. Can we say this yet? Level for Space Age? This was asked by Chessfoil.
Yeah.
Can we say it?
We are going to. Yes, we're going to announce it on this stream. I think we were waiting and hoping that Joe is going to join us shortly.
Yeah.
So we'll hold on to that.
So we'll hold on.
Yes, we will say.
We are going to announce it.
But just not yet.
And it's 1,000. You'll love it. No, it's not 1,000. I'm sorry. I'm dodging tomatoes.
There you go.
That would be pretty rough.
Yeah, we're inflating the numbers. Have fun.
All right. So what else are we showing off wonders wise? Have we shown them all?
This is the fourth wonder. This is the
Very large array.
Oh, it's the gold deposit. Pardon me, I'm stuck on that. There we go.
My favorite wonder.
So yeah, this is the very large array. So that's the final and fourth wonder. And then I guess we can head back to the patch notes for a little bit.
Let's do it. Let's head back to the patch notes. All right. So we have offensive missile silo. Are you guys ready for this? This one's pretty exciting.
This is the one I wanted to talk
I know,
about.
you're very excited to talk about this.
It's so good.
All right. So let's talk quickly while this is loading up. Let's talk quickly about how this came to be, how offensive missile silo came to be, and some of the challenges of designing this, because it's very different than anything else that exists in the game currently. Mm-hmm. So you guys saw a little bit of the offensive missile silo in the intro video, the teaser that we launched today. So you saw it blowing stuff up. So can you tell us a little bit about its design and its functionality and sort of the challenges of creating something that's completely unique and new to the game?
Sure. I think it really kind of came out of, like, we heard a lot of people talking about how, you know, offense needs a buff, offense needs a cool new toy to play with, and we really wanted something that made going up to the space age feel super good and super iconic. You know, this was one of our ages, so we do wonders usually every other age. This was going to be one of the age with wonders, but we wanted to give it something special, something really cool that was like, okay, when I get to the space age, I get to upgrade to this, and it's going to feel like the space age. And one of the things we also saw mentioning, like, you know, people talking about on social channels is everyone's always like, we want, you know, more access to missile stuff. We want access to this, you know, big, huge technology, changed all of warfare when it became a thing. So, like, how can we do that in a way that is cool for players and really interesting for them to do? So, when you upgrade your missile silo to the missile silo that becomes available in the space age, it is now going to give you access to a new retrainable tactic called the Big Red Button.
Big Red Button.
Big Red Button. That's exactly what it's called. And we have a new level for the missile silos. You can see here on Greg's screen. looking at that. So the functionality itself kind of came from a standpoint of, we want to give players this cool fantasy. How can we do this in a way that's interesting, but not, the most overpowered thing in the world? Because then, if somebody's attacking from space age down, then it's just like, oh, I'm getting destroyed by these missiles. I can't do anything. So then we tried to find out ways to balance it, and I think I'd rather... Can you go into battle? I kind of want to see if you can use it. Can you do that or no?
Yes, we're gonna.
We saw a couple people that didn't see the teaser video. So while this is while this is upgrading and stuff, we'll quickly watch this. We'll leave the mic on.
Sure.
So we can kind of talk over this, but you get to see the big red button in action here too, which is pretty cool.
The first clip where it shows the Space Shuttle sort of taking off and the 2D illustration, we posted that to social channels where people were able to identify what the tanks were and what the soldiers were using. And there's the slide.
There's the big red button.
Yeah.
So essentially what it will do is when you go into battle, you'll get a reticle on the base somewhere. Now this is going to be, there's certain buildings that we've excluded, buildings aren't going to care too much about walls, farms, markets, those kind of stuff, but it will target one building, usually of pretty high value. And then after you start the battle, the button will have an arm time, and once the arm time is finished, you hit the big red button, a missile launches and deals a massive amount of damage to that building specifically, as well as light splash damage around to all the buildings next to it. So, part of the challenges that we had is how can we make a tactic that feels really cool and feels like you're actually using a missile without making it a free, I'm just going to drop it on the town center and get an immediate 5-star victory. And the way that we kind of settled on that was introduce a little bit of random chance into there. So it's going to be a randomly targeted reticle, but there's also ways that you can get more reticles, through the library research. So now you'll get 2 on the base, and there's also another one that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, which also gives you a 3rd. But not quite ready to talk about that.
I'm a big fan of RNG elements in games in general. Dating back to the D&D days where you never knew it was going to happen. So I love that it's a random reticle, but you can increase your odds through, basically other researching.
Yeah, so, and it will change every single time. If you get a bad reticle on a base, you could theoretically go scout, go to a new one, just pick next match. The other things that you can do is that, it's not really a thing that you can do, but we thought that it was a good element to add into the game because so much of Dominations is tactical and very specific and very focused. So this is actually something that will change your strategy. If you get to a certain point, it's this big defensive building over here that may not be the most optimal drop point may get taken out by the offensive missile silo. I'm going to choose to change my troop drop location point to where their defense is going to be weakest and punch through with the missile. Or if it's on another side, you can pick, okay, now I can actually do 2 deployments and do my main front and then my back front when the missile comes in. There's a lot of interesting decisions to make there, in my opinion. And through playtesting, we found that too.
From your playtests, how did your luck fare with the random? Did you generally hit stuff that you were hoping you'd hit, or was it just every once in a while you'd hit a farm out in the corner someplace?
You actually can't hit a farm.
Oh, okay.
So they're completely excluded from the list. You can't hit walls. You can't hit farms.
Okay.
So you're generally going to be hitting something of high value. There are definitely higher value targets than others. But at least during playtesting, I didn't find that any one target was more important than the other. I got really excited when I hit something really important, ooh, that really well-defended tank bunker is now, less than half health after a single tactic use. That's going to be really exciting. And, there were definitely more exciting points, but I never felt bad about using the silo on something that was, less high value, which I thought was really, really interesting. At least personally.
Yeah. I already see calls for nerf.
This is just my opinion, man.
And then a smiley face.
We'll see how strong you guys think it is. And it does have to be refilled during every single battle. So, bunker gets refilled on defense. Refill your offensive missile silo if you use the button in combat.
This is a good question relating to that. Does every player get another target in war specifically? So every time that you attack the same place, is it going to generate a random target, or is it going to be the same? Depending on...
No, it's picked when you go to battle.
Okay.
So if 2 people attack the same target with the same number of reticles, they will get different results every time.
Okay, so it's totally randomized.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome.
So we want to step through the tutorial here with Pompous?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see what he has to say. Your missile silo can now be armed with oil. This allows you to launch missiles. Sorry, this is the pompous voice. I don't know if you've been here for this
Pompous
show.
voice is great.
I was wondering if you were going to do it. I was like, he hasn't done it in so long.
Put the pompous like emoji and just stick it in.
Someone's yelling, no!
This allows you to launch missiles at your enemies while attacking their base. Yes, so there you go.
That was good,
I got to
man.
bring that back. Yeah. Cool.
good.
So we'll bring that to battle in just a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
we're
still, like-
gonna show off some of this stuff in action. So right now we're just kind of going through the patch notes, showing everything off, discussing it a bit, and then I think during the second portion, depending on how time goes, during the second portion of the show, we're gonna actually show us blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
So hang out and we'll do that too. So let's jump into patch
Also
notes.
was mistaken. You can hit farms and markets, but you can't hit walls, roads, or gold piles.
Okay,
So
so you can't hit farms. But,
can't hit farms.
Okay. All right. So new university leader.
All right, new university leader. Let's go to our.
Do we want to? We can actually show her picture here. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that real quick.
I got it.
I think I'll switch to the big cam for a
Awesome.
second here.
Sounds good. Yeah, so we're at the Big Huge Game Studio. I don't know if we announced that at the beginning or if you've seen it around long enough. But throughout the studio here, we've got posters of all of our great leaders for our university. So this is our brand new university leader, Sally Ride for the Space Age.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. So
It's
let's
not a
jump
great
on over
place that I
here
can put it without a
and
glare
talk about
on
what
it.
she does.
All right, so she requires the level 8 university, and she focuses a lot on the oil-using troops and things like that. She'll help your Dominations oil bonus, things like machine gunners, factory hit points, commandos. Your Alliance Gate troop capacity increases donated troop cap by 5 per skill level researched. Your heavy tanks, your armored cars, your assault rally speed increases the move on assault rally by up to 18%. APCM MK3s.
It kind of looks like
tactical
Lady
helicopters.
Ash. Well, do I look like Sally Ride?
What?
I might be Sally. Maybe I'm Sally Ride. Thank you, I guess. I think Sally Ride's pretty cool. Guys, like I could do worse, but thank you. Sorry, I just saw that one comment. I was like, that's interesting.
Her capstone is Missile Command, which increases the offensive missile silo reticles by 2. We'll need an 8 level university in order to begin researching that, so we can look at what the level 7.
Now, what was
Space
the
Age.
reasoning, not just behind choosing Sally Ride as a university leader, but also the reasoning behind her abilities and what she provides? So, what thought process went into that?
So Sally Ride particularly was born out of a lot of we have a lot of focus on factory troops in terms of our balancing, and in terms of we want to encourage players to invest in that, but we didn't have a university leader that focused on them specifically. Similarly to how Amelia Earhart is this big if you want to be really good at your airstrip, you invest in Amelia. We needed one like that for factory because we've heard that a lot of people like using factory troops, but sometimes they felt underwhelming or they felt underrepresented in other parts of the game. So we really wanted a factory-focused university leader, and through a lot of different research, as well as, figuring out who we wanted to represent this, getting into exploration of space and getting into, a lot of the scientific advancements that would match that kind of era, we thought Sally Ride was one of the best choices that we had. And a lot of these we've been waiting around for a long time to do, and we thought coinciding Space Age with Sally Ride, this super influential figure in NASA and in space exploration, particularly for all the women on the team, and we have a lot of women on the game development team on Dom actually. So we all were like, this is a character we want to make sure gets represented. Some people may not have heard of her. Some people may not know how much she did for science and did for space exploration even after she came back. We thought this was a really great chance to explore something in history and really cool mechanics to pair with it. So we chose Sally Ride.
Very cool. I see a lot of compliments on the art. Someone in chat is asking what the word reticle means, which I think there's a language barrier thing. A reticle is just like it's something to assist with aiming. It's used in a lot of games. Targeting crosshairs. So
when you're looking in battle at your missile silo, it'll put a little target on the buildings that you are going to hit with it when you use it. So it's basically 2 extra missiles. is essentially what her skill tree does. A couple other skills I want to highlight really quick, at least one of them, is there's her mid-tree skill that will spawn machine gunners whenever your heavy tanks are destroyed. So any heavy tank that you're using in battle, when it's destroyed, it will spawn machine gunners. So people who are focusing on heavy tank strategies, which I know there are a lot of you because I read the forums, like whenever that goes down, you're going to get extra machine gunners out of it. So it just encourages people to keep investing into those heavy tank trees. And it provides a new and interesting gameplay thing. Like, it's not just a flat buff to something, it is you spawn an extra unit on top of that, which is using some of that tech. Like for Gozen, it's the exact same tech, just doing something different. So we wanted to include that in some of our mainline stuff, and we think that will be something really interesting that you can do, combined with buffs to the assault rally, which we've also heard that people are really enjoying too. And there's been a lot of hot debates on, what's the difference between it and protect, and which one's better, how can I use it to best benefit my army. So having her focus on that, as well as spawn units where you may be able to affect them with the assault rally, we thought were really interesting combinations of things to include in a single skill tree.
Very cool. That's a lot of very useful information. Do you see her impacting the meta specifically, especially with the higher level players? Do you see Sally Ride really having a changing the way the game is played?
Yeah, I think, similarly to some of our other, really high-level university leaders,
yes,
they can really encourage you to kind of build your army and train your composition a certain way. And I think the people who have been investing into factory units, particularly lately, as we've, tried to focus a little bit more on them, will be really heavily rewarded for going into Sally Ride, and I think it will just make this feel even better going into her. So I'm not sure it will change the meta. That's always super unpredictable.
Right.
You guys are going to get your hands on it, and in the first 30 minutes, you're going to have way more playtime than we will have ever gotten on it. So the strategies that you all come up with are going to be something crazy and that we've potentially never thought of before. So I think that people will really enjoy experimenting with her. The exact results of that, I'm not going to try and predict, because I think that's foolish.
You never know. Lots of questions about the coming soon university leader, which we get every time we stream.
Every single time.
Any info yet? You can say no. That's completely fine. I just figured I'd address it since I saw a handful pop up.
Nope.
No info.
Not this
okay.
time, yeah.
She's just wait with bated breath, guys.
Yeah.
You never know.
So
her art is great. I love it.
Yeah, we have her poster up in our kitchen area, and when we take photos for events or celebrations or whatever, we'll share some of our Space Age lunch party with you soon. But my phone now automatically tags her as a person because the art is so good that my phone believes that she's a real person. And so it grabs the frame and is like, oh, do you want to tag this person? And I was like, maybe.
Phil Pag, thanks for following us, and Bess Constantine, thank you for following us. Yeah, we appreciate all the follows, guys. We've got a lot of new followers on our Twitch channel. We're going to be using it all the time, so please follow us here, and you'll of course get notified when we go live with our next stream. We don't have a next stream to announce yet, but this one is not even half over yet, so we have lots of stuff to show off, and it's all very exciting. Why don't we, before we finish the patch notes,
okay,
because we're about to talk about the new Airstrip. So why don't we do a quick giveaway? Now, unfortunately, this is for people in the continental United States only. But if you would like an opportunity to win one of these, we're going to do this for Facebook as well as Twitch. In the chat, all you have to do, you can win one of these Dominations Space Age. This is sort of a crew, developer, and friends of developers only patch right now. We're going to use the hashtag Space Age.
Space Age, good.
Hashtag Space Age in the chat for an opportunity to win. We're going to let that run for about 1 minute. So if you would like an opportunity to win one of these Domination Space Age patches, please go ahead and use hashtag Space Age in the chat right now for a chance to win. Now, again, continental United States only. That's the first thing. And the second thing is make sure you check your inbox on Twitch, because that's how you're going to be contacted. So a lot of times when we've done these giveaways in the past, we've contacted the person, but they never check their Twitch inbox, and so they don't ever get to claim their prize. So within the next 24 hours, check your inbox, and we will contact you directly if you are one of the winners. And we really sincerely do appreciate you guys coming out here on a Thursday afternoon, or some of you are even in the middle of the night in your respective countries. So thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. Really, when we were loading up, someone was like, it's 1 a.m. where I am. I set my alarm for this. So thank you. That's wild and so cool. And we love that you love the game. While people are talking, I did something kind of crazy. So when I first started working on Dominations, I played the heck out of it. But you guys were kind enough to just like give me everything. You just gave me crowns, and this way I could experience the game. And I got really, really high up there. And in December, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have my account deleted and start over fresh with no bonuses from the studio or the publisher. I'm just going to play. So I've been playing every single day since December 1st. I'm in a secret guild. They don't know who I am. It's wonderful. So I'm just playing the game and enjoying it as a player. And really kind of experiencing it from the ground view, which I really, really like. So it's been very, very fun, and I love kind of experiencing all the ups and downs of it with all you guys by my side, which has been really fun. All right, so we're going to stop this first giveaway, then we're going to go back to the patch notes. So again, thank you. Closing these for now, and we're going to jump back to patch notes for a minute.
You look great on your flight suit.
Yeah.
All right, so second airstrip, museum improvements, balance changes. Cool, that's a good list.
It is. So second airstrip. We saw a lot of people very excited about this.
Right.
What can you tell us about second airstrip?
It's like the first airstrip, but a
there's
second one.
But a second
Two
one.
of them.
Yes.
Well, there's 2 of them now. Actually, I can tell you a little bit about the second airstrip. There's 2 of them now, so that's awesome. That's your first little hint for today. But the cool thing about it is having a second airstrip will increase your pop cap by at least 8 if you have Amelia. So your pop cap increases to 8 with the Amelia research tree, which allows you to get a better range of planes or adjust your strategy with your planes, because you can take more of them now into battle with you.
What is a pop cap? For those that might not know, a pop cap is...
Oh, a pop cap is... what is the best way to kind of explain
It's
that?
how many you can bring into battle.
How many you can bring
your
into
max
battle.
capacity,
And
basically.
and some planes take like 4 pop cap or 2 pop cap. So if your pop cap increases to 8, and each plane costs like 2 pop cap, then you can do the math for that, right? But so for example, you could bring more bombers into the battle with you, and everyone loves bombers, right? So it would really change just a lot of things about the way you use planes, if you especially love to use planes.
So our current air capacity right now is at 4, and when we speed this up, it's working on speeding up.
Yep.
Sorry, we're still again, this build is not released yet,
Yeah.
so we're working on a brand new build, and it'll be ready for you soon, next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. This is not a public build yet, so all this stuff is super new, which is great. Jago12345, thank you for following us.
There we go.
All right, there she blows.
All right, so now our total air capacity pop cap is up to 5. Awesome. When initially was 4 with this first airstrip with this base that we had. The thing that you'll notice is it can only train strike fighters. So you'll need to upgrade the building in order to produce bombers and then to produce transports. It functions very similar to the second factory. Thank you. That's the word. I was like, functions similar to the second airstrip. Because it is the second.
It is the second.
We're all tired here.
Its
I promise we're all
functionality
tired.
is similar to itself. That's the important.
It's recursive, yes,
Miss
exactly.
Rock, thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. We see you. Thank you so much for the second airstrip. Now, are you guys worried at all about... I always ask this question, but are you worried about the impact of adding a second airstrip and what it's going to do to the game? Like, are you at all apprehensive of what this could mean?
Well, our designers take a lot of care into balance testing, and they did have a lot of balance tweaks and such with the second airstrip being released. We have good faith and hope that this isn't going to be some game-breaking, super OP thing that happens. But of course, once the players get it in their hands and we see how it's used, we'll move forward from there. But every time we release something like this, especially with the second airstrip, there was a lot of intensive balancing and adjustment to make sure that we weren't, basically handing the hand of God over to these players.
And I think it's important to mention here too, like, I wouldn't say apprehensive is the right word. Like, excited and interested is the right word, but we actually got into a point where this theoretically could have gone out in an earlier release, and we made the conscious decision to make sure that we had more balancing time. Designers weren't exactly sure that they had it locked down right. We had a couple bugs that we could fix with it just to make it even better. So rather than putting it in earlier, we decided to delay it in order to make sure it was the best experience for players and had, the most close to the impact that we were going for when it actually did hit live servers. So we I'd say at this point are very confident that it is in the place that we hope it is. But again, players, you guys will come up with some crazy stuff. So we'll be looking really closely at the numbers when you guys go live and be looking from there. But I think, Joe, you can talk about that more than I can.
Yeah.
This also ties into some of the balance changes that are going to take place with this release. It's particularly focused on planes, both offensively and defensively, for things like the your air defense and SAM batteries and things like that. So we can jump ahead and talk about that, and we'll get back to the museum in a moment.
Let's do it. So we have more second airstrip stuff. Then we'll talk about museum, and then some balance changes. And then just for a heads up, we will take a short break just so we can hydrate. And then we are going to come back, and we have lots and lots and lots of other fun stuff to show off and to talk about. So,
that's right.
So hang in there. And we'll do a couple more giveaways too.
Yeah, Joe's joined us now, so we'll be able to release the level cap for the new age, and we'll be able to talk about some new and exciting stuff then too. So the balance changes for the airstrip are going to be as follows. I think they're on the sheet there that you have.
Oh, here, you can have my cheat sheet.
Thank you.
Filled with information. I can actually.
I have them in my brain, but I don't want to misquote it, so that's why it's in the brain. I mean, on the sheet. Ha! Did it.
We had questions about the specific planes that are being added.
Yes.
Do you want to talk? Do we have any info about those that we can share just yet? We have some cool art we can show here while we're kind of poking through it.
Well,
so we have the A-10, right? And we have info on the fighter too. If we want to talk about that.
Sure, if you want. We need to actually upgrade. One of those, I believe, is the assault helicopter, right? So we'd have to upgrade our armory to take a look at that. So our armory now is level 10. Bum, 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 bum. Attack helicopter. We need to... Alright, there's the entry-level attack helicopter. Alright, we'll have to get to that after the break.
Yeah, no worries. We can pull it up later.
Okay. Some of the
This is a
balance
live
changes,
show, folks.
Pardon me. Some of the balance changes, I found them here, and I wanted to get back to that.
There we go.
So,
balance stuff.
all right, cool. The SAM battery is going to deal more damage at level 4 and above. You'll do more damage with your atomic and Cold War level air defenses. Fighters will be slightly weaker all around. Hit points, damage, building suppression. And bombers will be able to go on more runs and able to sustain more hits, but do slightly less damage. So some of these balance changes that you'll be able to read in the full patch notes when we release them later, you'll be able to understand why we needed to make some of these changes if you're able to take so many more planes into battle.
And when can we say when people can look for the patch notes?
Sure, we can post them tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna put them up tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll put them up
so
tomorrow.
You'll see the full patch notes with basically everything we're talking about in more detail. It'll be up on Facebook as well as the forums, and we'll put a link on Twitter as well. So you'll be able to see the full patch notes tomorrow in all of their glory, if that's your sort of thing. If you want to kind of get down and dirty and see everything. So
dive back into that. So cool. And there, of course, we've been showing you the real quick clip of the patch notes here on the screen. There's going to be several bullet points underneath that, so you can read into all the details and cover everything. A lot of the things we've been talking about here on this stream.
Very cool.
So cool. I think the last thing that we're going to get to then is some of the museum quality of life stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about museum stuff.
Okay.
I love the way you laid out your museum with the fruit trees right there. That's really nice.
So yeah, I think Jazz did that. Jazz, you set the space up for us, right?
Oh yeah, that's my base.
Nice.
He wins. 10 points to Jazz.
It's very cute.
It's very classy.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, we have the World War Hall. Yes, thank you.
Wow, what a mustache is what I'm seeing.
Thank you. I made
Yeah.
it myself.
Every
Yeah.
time.
Wait till you see Joe.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple things with this. We're going to get an extra third legendary slot. So if you have a third legendary artifact, you'll be able to place that in your main hall. And there's a really great quality of life improvement that we made. So if we craft some new artifacts, you'll be able to see them right away. And here they go. All right, so number one, color. Yay, color. These colors that appear have to do with the inherent bonuses that each item has. So if it's got the small bonus, the +1s, then it'll be listed as white benefits. If it's got a medium bonus, which is the +3 for the World War and a +6 for the main hull, it'll be green, and it'll be that blue color that says the wall sapper damage there, if you can see that. That'll be for your largest bonus. That's the +6 in the World War and +11 in the main hull. These colors are going to stay constant throughout the life of the artifact, so that way even when you level it up or when you put new ranks into it, the colors will stay the same. But at a glance, it should help you determine what's good from this and whether or not you want to keep it as well. So cool. This one's this George Luger's pistol is green, so it's middle of the road. So yeah, so maybe we would want to keep that.
See lots of positive comments. Says yes, instant sell, more visualized. Thank you, and a nice. So,
right, exactly.
We're thankful that you're thankful. Thank
right.
you guys. A lot of work goes into these quality of life changes, so we appreciate that you appreciate it.
Right. And that goes hand in hand with the feedback that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You guys play the game, you send us screenshots, or you talk about like, hey, it'd be great if we'd be able to do this right away, to sell this right away, because I've already got something for that slot. So
yeah.
We'll get rid of that, and we'll be able to, as opposed to diving back in. That should hopefully reduce as well, like accidental selling. If you just hit that sell button and just bump, tag a bunch of stuff, and now you'll be able to determine whether or not you'll say, oh, this has got +1 heavy infantry. We can go right away. So cool.
Yeah. A little secret too. I usually mention this on the streams, but one of the things I do every week is I go through all the comments on the social channels and kind of aggregate them, throw them all together, and then show them to a bunch of people just to kind of get a feel for what the community likes and doesn't like, and sort of like how they feel about the game. And I share that out every week. And I also, your suggestions and things like that, I share all the time. So it definitely, like, even though I may not reply to you individually, it definitely does not fall on deaf ears. And, all of that is scooped up and looked at by the bigger, keep those comments coming, positive, negative, constructive criticism is always the best kind, but yes. So thank you.
So yeah, so those are some of the museum upgrades that you'd expect to see in the next update, and that'll be, of course, for all ages. So even if you're if you're not on the cusp of moving into the space age, that's fine. You'll be able to benefit from these things as well during the next update.
Awesome. So let's that's pretty much it for the patch notes for now. But when we come back, we're going to show off more of this stuff. Before we take a quick little break, we'll do a quick plug for our social channels, and also do one more quick giveaway. So let's go ahead and turn this off and turn these back on. We'll do this one more time, and then we'll do a little quick giveaway, and then we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Joe about some some in-depth details about some stuff that's coming up to the game. We'll talk a little bit more about Space Age. We're going to show off some fun stuff in our community corner where we highlight some of the things that you guys have been up to, which is one of my favorite things to do. So thanks to everyone who contributed to that. And we're going to look at a lot of your base submissions. So a lot of you submitted your names and your alliance names, and we're going to take a look at some of the things that you have made live on the stream. So that's during the second hour after our break. So very quickly, if you're not following us on Twitter, please do so. There's a link here on Twitch, and if you're on Facebook, you can just go to Twitter/Play Dominations or @Play Dominations on Twitter. Please give us a follow there. We have a pretty cool Twitter community, people posting every day. Facebook, there's a lot of people on Facebook. It's been growing a lot, which I love, and people are posting all the time. So we do screenshot Saturdays there. We do base submissions. We do lots of votes and polls and fun things. So if you love Dominations and you love talking to people about Dominations, about things that you love and things that you don't love, head on over to our Facebook page and join us there and become part of our community there. That's fun. We also have our blog, which is nexonm.com/blog, and we do historical blogs on usually content that ties in with whatever's going on in the game. So we recently put one up about objects in space, which is about some of the crazy things that have been launched into orbit, from satellites to monkeys and dogs. Yeah. I saw a post, somebody posted like, oh, there he is talking about dogs in space when you should be talking about this. And I'm like, oh, come on, dogs in space is fun. So anyway.
It is a really fun story, because the two that come back, one of them has a little puppy, and it winds up like going to the White House and being given as a gift to the president. And he calls them pupniks because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Nikita Khrushchev gave one of the puppies to John F. Kennedy, and those two puppies had puppies together. And so you have this like royal legacy of astronaut dogs that are like bred with president, dogs during the Cold War. It's just a wild story. Encourage you guys to go over to the blog and check that out. It's a quick read, maybe 5 minutes. And if you like history at all, I think you'll like it. And of course, we have our forums. Tin updates those every single day with information about ongoing events and sales, and also helps promote community stuff, which is really, really great on our forum. So head on over there. Okay, so before we take our quick break, we're going to do another one of these. I'll go ahead and put this on big cam for a sec. There we go. Put it over my face. Nobody wants to see that. Okay.
Like Mike was asking.
There we go. Yeah, put it right there. So we are giving away a handful of these, and these are developer and friends of developer only Dominations patches, continental United States only right now. All you have to do in the chat, and this is on Facebook Live and on Twitch TV, is do hashtag SpaceAge to enter to win. We're going to do a handful of these throughout the rest of the stream. So if you want to win one of these, they're pretty cool. They're cloth. They're like real deal patches. They'll look great on your flight suit or whatever other thing that you wear.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to probably put one here because I think
there. You can put it on your hat. You can put it. Yeah.
It'll look super cool.
Yeah,
so anyway, we'll let that cruise for a minute, Space Age in chat, and then we're going to go ahead, after this rolls for a minute, we're going to take a quick break and come back with all sorts of new stuff, including Community Corner and some hot topics that are going to be discussed, so you guys will like that a bit.
And that level requirement for Space Age.
And the level requirement, yeah. So we're going to reveal the level requirement for Space Age when we come back. 1012.
1,000.
Just, I would love to see if we really announce that. Just like have cams on everyone. Like, what?
Send us your reaction videos.
Yeah, send us your reaction videos when we say 1,000. All right. So I see lots of entries. Thank you guys for entering. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our countdown timer going here. I'm going to set it for 5 minutes. And we are going to go ahead and do a quick break. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk with you guys more about some more fun stuff. So hang in there. Go grab some water, grab a snack, and we'll be right back. Oddity2590, thank you for the follow. And we'll see you in 5.